Hello to all my cozy and classy viewers. Welcome back. It's your host Kimoni, and welcome to anyone who's new here. If you don't know, this is my cozy and classy corner of the internet where I sort of decide to talk about whatever I'm thinking about on the day. And today I am heavily inspired by my 9 to 5. For context, I work in high finance, which is notoriously high stress, very fast paced environment. I've been in this environment for nearly 2 years now, and I've developed some corporate hacks, I would like to say, for getting me through the day even when I feel demotivated. If that sounds interesting to you, please sit to watch the whole video. Please like and subscribe as well, and let's get into it. The first corporate hack I have for you guys is to always take your lunch break. Now, this may be a bit of a controversial one, especially since in corporate it is very common to see people eat lunch at their desks because it's way too busy. And I have a slightly different opinion on this, and I feel strongly about it. So much so that I would rather work significantly later and still take my lunch break than to work through lunch and leave just a tad bit earlier. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think we underestimate how much stress and tension can build up in our bodies during the morning. And I feel like we need a release for that, we need an outlet for that, we need a space where we are not looking at our screens and we are not stressed about work. And I think lunch is the perfect time to do that. If you take your lunch, sit somewhere quiet, sit with your friends, sit outside, wherever you feel most calmest, and just allow your body to de-stress and just enjoy what you're eating. It could be an hour, as you are entitled to, might I add. It could be 45 minutes though, it could be 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time you have to give away from your desk. But I think it's just a way of helping to reset, and so you can be your most productive self in the afternoon. I will also say, for me personally, I genuinely can't eat at my desk, and I think that's because, one, I don't like the smell of food where I'm working, and two, I have a bit of an insecurity about eating in front of my colleagues. So for me, this has 3 benefits. But for you guys, the main benefit and the main conclusion that I want you to draw from this point is that your body needs a reset, your mind needs a reset, and lunch is the perfect time to do that. Another hack to survive in corporate is to incorporate your steps during the day. Now, when I say this, I mean incorporating some form of walking into your work day. Now, we all know the science behind walking. It improves mental health, it improves physical health. We already know that. It's a widely known fact. However, I think a part of the days that we truly tend to underestimate is actually the part that we do before and after work. I'm talking about the commute time, which is something that is expected in corporate. A lot of people have commutes that are over an hour, and I think we underestimate just how much it can negatively affect our outlook coming into work and prevent us from being able to fully relax after work. I think that commuting is very chaotic, it's loud, it's overstimulating, it's overwhelming. In summer it is very, very hot. If you're in London or any metropolitan city, you understand like the difficulties that can come with commuting. And I am in a very privileged position to say that I live close enough to my office that I can walk to my workplace in under an hour. However, if that is not the case for you, one thing I would recommend is perhaps stopping at an earlier station that is a little less close to your workplace than the station that you would have usually stopped at, and then just walking from there, just to incorporate some level of exercise before you go into the office. I think it can significantly improve your outlook before you go into work and your mental state before you go into work. I know for me it has personally really helped. If you can't incorporate walking before or after work during your commute, if you have 15 minutes during the day, I would also recommend maybe going on a walk just to de-stress and to let go of the tension in your body. Lunch is also a brilliant way to do this. Maybe after you finish eating, just going on a quick little walk to get your steps in, to get your fresh air in. I think you will find that it can significantly help with your mental health and your productivity at work as well. Speaking of walks, my daily matcha runs are such an integral part of my day, especially when I'm going in office. Now, if you watched my last video where I ranked all of Blank Street's matcha flavors, you know I'm a sucker for matcha, I'm a sucker for Blank Street. I go there every single day when I'm in office. And the principle behind this habit is just creating a sense of anticipation during the day. A lot of the times, I think for a lot of people, you can wake up feeling stressed and anxious about the day ahead of you. Maybe you have a very difficult call that you have to hop into. Maybe you just know that your inbox is going to be completely overwhelmed and busy. And I think incorporating a little moment of joy, even if it's just 15 minutes during your day, can significantly help with your overall mental health at work, and it gives you something to look forward to. So for me, it's matcha. For some people, it's coffee. It may be a freshly baked croissant, or it doesn't even have to be something that you need to buy. Maybe it's an experience. Maybe you enjoy going to different events, so maybe planning an event to go to like once or twice a week. Or it could be meeting up with your work bestie, you know, if you have one, to chat. And I think that incorporating a small space for joy during the workday can go miles for improving your overall outlook at work and for improving your mood at work. It can also be incredibly motivating as well. You want to attach strings to it. So for example, let's say you promise yourself a really nice coffee every single time you make progress on a project. So it could be highly motivating as well for you personally and help you bring your best self to work. And then my last hack for you guys is to try and curate a space that works for you as much as possible. Now, there may be limitations for this. Your company may have an inflexible or not even allow work from home, or you may not have the money to afford all the tech that would help optimize your desk setup at home, or maybe you have to work in a certain area of your firm because of confidentiality reasons or because of firm rules or whatever. But I do think as much as possible you want to try and curate a space that works for you. I am quite fortunate in the fact that I feel like my company's work from home policy is pretty flexible, so some days I work from home, again depending on how I feel in the morning. My company also has an open floor plan, but they also have booths, so sometimes I do like to work in a booth, you know, again depending on how I wake up that morning and how I feel. And you can incorporate similar tactics in your day-to-day. If you're allowed to decorate your desk, that could also be a wonderful thing and give you a nice sight to look at whilst you're working, because I do think again we underestimate how much a working environment can really impact the way we work. And if you're going to be working for 8, 9, 10, even more than that in high finance, I think at the very least you deserve to work somewhere that you enjoy, you feel comfortable in. And of course there will always be limitations, but try as much as you can to optimize your working setup so that it suits you and suits where you're at. And those are all my tips on my list for you guys. Please comment down below if you have any corporate hacks, anything that you do during the day to help you improve your productivity or just improve your overall mood at work. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. If you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe. It would be so appreciated on my side. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!